Marcelo, congratulations firstly on what looks like really solid approval for this deal. Now, I don't get to say this very often, but this is a deal that has been 5 years in the works. Explain to me what of the logic still applies from when you first announced this deal versus today.
Today's a whole different day, right? I think the Department of Justice approval of our transaction is just a good day for the American consumers, a good day for our country. It's pretty much like it gets us closer to reaching the final milestone. Things are very different today than they were 5 years ago. And I think the first thing we got to get clear is 5G. You know, this company, the new company, is going to be committed to basically building the world's most advanced 5G network that the U.S. needs it. It needs it for us to continue to lead the 5G race. It needs us in order to continue to foster innovation. So that is quite different.
You and John Legere, the CEO of T-Mobile, have consistently said, look, you need to be an enlarged player. Having two small players up against AT&T and Verizon just doesn't cut it when you need that level of investment. But now you're going to have Dish as a fourth player. So just help me understand that, how it's going to work, that you're going to have three large players and then one very subscale player.
Well, I think the best way to look at it is you're going to have three very large players racing for 5G. This is going to force Verizon and AT&T to anticipate the investment they probably wouldn't have done otherwise. So this is going to be, I would call it, a very strong race to see who can provide the best 5G. We feel very confident that combined we're going to be able to do that, because Sprint's privileged spectrum 5G spectrum that we have, which is called the mid-band, combined with the low band of T-Mobile, gives us the ability to build quite an advanced network. So based on that, there's going to be some great competition. And I think the big beneficiary of this is going to be the American consumer. Is going to have more choices at obviously better prices. So we're definitely going to bring competition up. As it relates to Dish, I would say it's going to be off to a really good start. I mean, Charlie Ergens has done an amazing job of buying a good amount of spectrum. He's going to allow them to build a network. He's going to allow them to have Boost, which is, it's a few million customers, so it gives them off to a really good start.
In this case, what is it actually going to mean for us, the users of these services?
I mean, let's start with truly nationwide coverage, covering all over America, including rural America. Two, you're going to have speeds that are going to be 10x what you have today. You're going to have low latency, so therefore you're going to be able to do amazing things. This is what's going to enable autonomous vehicles to be on the road. This is what's going to enable for doctors to start doing remote surgeries. But for the average consumer, you're going to be able to download movies in less than 5 seconds at the speed that you're going to be able to do gaming, be able to play gaming against other persons with no latency. So the amount of use cases that are going to be enormous.
Do you think the state AGs, I think there's still 13 that are attempting to block this merger, do you think they are going to get on board here? Is that a foregone conclusion, or is there more you can do to convince them, and maybe even more concessions?
I have a lot of faith on the American government, on the American justice. I have a lot of faith that once they look at the settlement agreement that we have reached with the Department of Justice, every single state attorney general is going to realize that, more importantly, that this is great for our country, this is great for consumers, and I think it's going to be great for each of the states that today they're opposing the deal.
Marcelo, you're a man of many hats, one of which is obviously the COO of Softbank. What does this deal do for Softbank, and what does it free you up to do in terms of just time to focus on other things?
I mean, this is an important day for Softbank, because it's part of a strategy that we started in terms of transforming Softbank from an operating or mainly known as a telecom company to a truly and a strategic holding company that is focused on investing on artificial intelligence enabled companies or artificial intelligence powered companies. The first step was the IPO for a local Japanese telco, Softbank AK, and now comes the merger with T-Mobile. So this is obviously going to free up a lot of cash. It's going to free up a lot of debt that we're going to utilize that cash to invest in subsequent funds.
This has been a 5-year slog getting this through various administrations, various regulators. What advice would you give to other CEOs about to begin this process in terms of how best to go about it?
Well, I think what we did is we actually studied what does it take to get a merger approved. And we were very honest and straightforward from day one of making some pretty strong commitments that I don't think anybody else has made. I mean, we made a commitment that we're going to lower prices. We made a commitment that we're going to build the world's most advanced 5G network. We made a commitment that we're going to create jobs. And once your story is correct, because this is all going to happen, then it's a lot easier to go through, I would say, a pretty painful approval process, right? We were invited to testify between Congress and Senate 3 times. We had long sessions with the FCC, long sessions with the DOJ. And I think when you have a compelling story that at the end is going to benefit the American consumer, then obviously it's going to be much easier when you're talking to anybody about your merger. So we feel extremely comfortable that today we've marked, it was a huge step towards getting this merger approved. And we look forward to engaging in meaningful conversation with the different state attorney generals in order for us to be able to show what are the benefits of the merger and what exactly the DOJ, FCC, and CFIUS saw in this merger that allowed them not to block it and actually endorse it.